Hey, welcome to Crossroads, folks. Mexican cartels are taking territory right here in the United States, and our own authorities are trying to fight back to get it back. Now, look, the cartels, they're gaining control over parts of the U.S., and while authorities are trying to take them back, well, the Mexican organized crime groups are issuing threats against sheriffs, against border agents, and even against their family members. Matt Finn said this. He said, "Unbelievable, a Border Patrol agent in Sunland Park, New Mexico, just told us a mountain in the United States is not ours anymore. It's theirs," referring, he says, to the cartels. He says, "We literally spent 5 minutes on Mount Cristo Rey and a group of illegals breezed by." Let me show you a clip of this, folks. Now look, remember also, this is far from the first time anything like this has happened. It's been happening for a while now, in fact. Back in November, you might remember, there was the operation where Border Patrol agents had to retake a riverfront in Texas, not in Mexico, had to retake this island from the Mexican cartels on American soil. Washington Examiner said that Border Patrol agents gained a tactical advantage over drug cartels now that an overgrown riverfront on the U.S.-Mexico border has been cleared of vegetation. They say Border Patrol agents, as well as state and local law enforcement, will be able to see through and navigate a massive 170-acre portion of borderland following the state's decision to clear vegetation that had overtaken Fronten Island in South Texas that had been used for illegal cartel activity. Now it notes, Don Buckingham, commissioner of the Texas General Land Office, or GLO they say, told the Washington Examiner that she organized the clearing effort with assistance from the Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Military Department, and Texas Rangers. In other words, a very large operation in Texas, military, police, even, again, the organization taking care of like property type things. They had to go in there and clear this. And she said, "It is my goal to stop illegal immigrants and cartel gang members from pouring into our cities, bringing in crime, draining our resources, smuggling drugs, and kidnapping our children," she wrote in a statement. Now, on this note too, again, it's not just plots of land and areas around the border either. Cartels and illegal alien gangs are also harassing and threatening Americans on their own properties. And this was around the same time as when they cleared that island. Fox News said that a fifth-generation Arizona rancher said an influx of illegal migrants crossing his land in recent years has increased his fear that terrorists are successfully sneaking into America. He said it's really a serious issue. This is Jim Chilton, owner of the Chilton Ranch, telling Fox News. He said, "We have no security on our ranch, nor in most places along the border anymore. It's not good. It's not better in any sense. It's still outrageous." And notes as well, Border Patrol ranchers previously told Fox News that his wife, this individual, while home alone, opened the door to MS-13 gang members carrying guns. He said it's kind of scary. That's just life on the border. And notes that Chilton fears more cartel members crossing his property without his knowledge this year. He said cartels fight for control of the trails through his ranch. The cartels are not just fighting on the Mexico side, they're fighting on the U.S. side. And it says that he's occasionally seen coyotes, again, the human traffickers, smuggling migrants across his land. He said, "We have cartel scouts on our mountains, that they really have control of everything." Now, I've actually been told this personally as well. Again, I've been doing a lot of research on the border. I've been traveling along it, been going into Mexico, into Panama, and I should have a feature on that pretty soon for you all. But actually, I have a contact I was actually with for a while at the U.S.-Mexico border in California, and he was telling me he was dealing with these kinds of things. He was saying that what was happening was he had a dog, just a personal story from him. He had a dog, and cartel smugglers bringing people through his property. One day they have the goal to come knock on his door, and this cartel guy tells him he has to get rid of his dog because the dog is bothering them when they're trafficking people through his property. He refused to get rid of his dog, as you might suspect. Soon after, he found his dog dead on his own property. Another time, actually, this was it was a pretty big case at the time. He actually caught a group of Mexican gang members gang raping a woman on his property and got in a shootout with them. Ended up actually killing several of the gang members and actually had to go to court over it. Managed to get off on self-defense and, of course, protecting a woman who was being gang raped. But this is the kind of stuff people are dealing with on the U.S. side of the U.S.-Mexico border. This was an American territory, folks. This was not Mexico. And, of course, it's not just there. It's across the border. Ranchers, farmers, they're dealing with this kind of stuff. People knocking on their doors, people demanding goods and services, people demanding food. Some people have to leave food out so that the illegals don't break into their properties and rob them. This is the situation people are dealing with living in these areas. Now, Daily Mail in November 2023, not too long ago really, said that footage shows the cartel members disguised in black outfits walking along the uninhabited stretches of the U.S.-Mexico border. In other words, these like cartel hit squads. It says some men had their rifles aimed as they inspected the area while others continued to march ahead. It's the incident comes after trail cameras captured grainy images of 3 suspected cartel gunmen carrying rifles and dressed in body armor crossing into Fronton from Mexico in August. And notes that months earlier, 5 alleged Cartel del Noreste members were arrested in that same area. It notes, too, that they were also armed and dressed in tactical gear. Now, even the cartels are using military tactics, it should be noted. They're targeting the U.S. while they're doing it. But, folks, I'll be talking more about this after a quick word from our sponsors, so don't go anywhere.
Experts agree. One of the best ways to protect against financial uncertainty is to diversify your portfolio. Learn how physical gold and silver can secure your retirement funds from today's economic challenges. With a gold IRA from American Hartford Gold, you can safeguard your wealth with no penalties or taxes when you transfer your current qualifying retirement accounts. Call now and our precious metals specialists will send you a free information kit, no cost or obligation. American Hartford Gold, a trusted industry leader with an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, has a 5-star rating from thousands of happy clients. Whether you are getting physical precious metals in a gold IRA or delivered to your doorstep, we offer only the highest quality gold and silver. For your peace of mind, we also offer a no-fee buyback commitment, a low price guarantee, along with free shipping and free insurance. So don't wait. Call the number on your screen today and secure your financial future.
Hey, welcome back. Cartels are trying to take over the United States. It's not even just border areas, it's even in American cities and elsewhere. These cartels are not just gangs either, just some old-fashioned mafias. It's not like, like the kind of stuff you have in, for example, Chicago. These guys have gear, vehicles, and weaponry of a paramilitary force. They're as well armed as like the Taliban. And there have even been reports of them using military tactics in their operations against the United States. Remember, one of the main things they do, because, hey, the United States, we let illegal aliens, people coming here legally, they can actually join the U.S. military. A lot of the cartels send their fighters here. They join the military 4 years. They get military training. Then they go back to Mexico and work for the cartels. And the illegal aliens are also becoming a key part of their operations and also part of their funding. New York Post in September noted this. They said Mexican cartels are behind the thousands of migrants flooding over the U.S. border. I'd say them and Joe Biden, frankly. With sources saying it shows exactly how much power they wield. Border sources tell the Post. It says this, quote, they have a lot of power. They're the most powerful organization in Mexico. There's a few of them, right? It's according to former Texas Congresswoman Maria Flores, telling the Post Tuesday at the time. She said that they're better funded than our Border Patrol agents. They're a paramilitary force, folks. And notes that border towns like Eagle Pass, which I've been to, and El Paso, both in Texas, have seen mobs of more than 2,000 migrants at once turning themselves over to Border Patrol over the last week at the time, and overwhelming field agents, which the agency has now said the cartels are behind. Because again, the cartels control the borders. The cartels, they decide who gets to cross and who doesn't. And if you try to cross without asking them, they will shoot you. They will even, of course, execute people as they try to flee onto the U.S. side of the border, killing them on American soil in many cases. And because they control the flows, what they'll do is they'll gather up all the illegals, have them all enter at once to flood Border Patrol. So Border Patrol has to take all of its assets, put them in one little area and take care of all these illegals, while the cartels do their drug running or weapons operations or whatever else they're doing on the other side. This is according to retired Border Patrol Chief Thaddeus Cleven telling the Post. He says, they're using military tactics the same way we do. And it notes that when a specific city sees an increase in migrants crossing the crossings, Border Patrol have to pull resources from other areas to respond. But that leaves remote regions with less staff, making it less secure and giving cartels the opportunity to take advantage and move criminals or drugs across the border, Cleveland explained, or maybe terrorists, frankly. We've actually, of course, at Epoch Times had exclusive stories on this, where we've shown actual footage recorded from hidden cameras along the U.S.-Mexico border, where cartel traffickers bring in Middle Eastern-looking men, like 5 different cartel traffickers and one Middle Eastern guy. They'll ride in, heavily armed, rifles and the whole 9 yards, and then they'll sit there and they'll drop off the Middle Eastern guy, who then crosses into the U.S. And it makes you really wonder, why is this one guy having an escort of several cartel members? Why is one guy being treated with kid gloves, and why is that one guy coming into the United States? Well, look, these operations are not limited to the Mexico side. The cartels are developing human traffickers as well on the U.S. side of the border. Judicial Watch said this. They said, smuggling networks have now incorporated American citizens to smuggle persons from the border to cities throughout the U.S., says a Cochise County law enforcement source, who added that the new trend has created deadly consequences in the border communities where the American recruits, the traffickers hired by the cartels, often travel at dangerously high speeds through local roads and highways. I was told this personally as well when we were traveling through Kinney County in Texas, actually. The sheriff there was saying that their entire sheriff force is dedicated almost entirely to dealing with illegals and dealing with high-speed chases, and the high-speed chases take place several times a day. Now it notes that migrant and drug smugglers even use a beloved chapel, Our Lady of the Sierras, in the town of Hereford for their illicit operations. In other words, they've taken over a chapel on American soil. It's situated on a hill with a 75-foot claret cross that remains lit at night. The chapel serves as a navigational tool for smugglers. And again, the grounds of the chapel are regularly used to transfer drugs. It notes that in 2011, migrant smugglers burned down the chapel after starting a fire along the border to escape Border Patrol during a pursuit, which is one of the things they do, by the way, as well. I've actually caught this on tape while I was reporting on the border previously. What they will do is the illegal aliens, the traffickers, they'll start fires. They'll start brush fires to make Border Patrol send forces to go put out the fires, and then they'll do all their trafficking operations once Border Patrol is trying to put out this fire. They actually start fires. Now, notice that besides the chapel, which was eventually rebuilt after the fire destroyed nearly 30,000 acres and dozens of homes. Now, Judicial Watch also notes that another related threat from the charming community has been created by the increasing number of packages containing deadly drugs littered throughout the area by mules, often in residential neighborhoods. In other words, the drug traffickers, the Mexican cartels, bring the drugs over to the U.S. side, leave them in drop-off locations, and other traffickers come and get them and carry out their operations. And God forbid your kid or someone finds that, and again, first off, be exposed possibly to fentanyl, but second off, gets targeted then by gangs or cartel members because of that. Now, there's even a congressman warning that cartels are coming to every single town in the United States of America. However, in places like Texas push back against the cartels and try to stop that, enforce, their own border laws, they're getting sued by the Biden administration to stop doing it. I'll be talking about this, though, only on Epoch TV. So those of you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, if you want to join us for the rest of the episode and for the live Q&A, where, of course, we answer questions, this is your opening to come on over. The link is in the description below and in the live chat. You can access not just to my show, but also to awesome special reports and documentaries that we have, again, only on Epoch TV, EpochTV.com, including America Rewritten. That was a special feature I did on why America and the Constitution matters. It's all the more important right now as we see again what's happening in the country, where it seems the Constitution is just under constant attack. Let me show you the trailer for that before we make the jump.
The American story was once seen as a light of strength and freedom for the world. It created a government by the people and for the people, where rights were given not by leaders, but by God. Yet now the very fabric of the nation is under assault. What is the real story of America? Why did the Founding Fathers choose a republic over a democracy? And what would the world be if the bedrock of the American Constitution was lost?